video is going to cover a challenge put out by Hack the Box as part of their Uni 2022 CGF called Magic Informer. And so this challenge, essentially, we just have an endpoint and we're kind of assigned the task of performing a pen test against it to see if we can't gain access to their server. So there's basically all we have is the endpoint, not much else. So I'll put that into burp and we will navigate to it. And we're just going to see a page with a bunch of content. So I'll just push that because it's not a simple page. I think we will need to intercept responses with this content type being CSS. Okay, so we get a page, Magic Informer. Some interesting things. Just hovering over stuff, seeing if we can't find a link. We're hiring. Sends us to register. That's not going anywhere. It doesn't go anywhere. Okay, so let's click the hiring link. We get the register endpoint. And it's a form using auth.js. Just view the source and see if there's anything interesting in JS. So it's using jQuery, posting to API intent. So there might be some other endpoints it can use. So we can go to a dashboard. So then it's setting the dashboard. So let's just see if I can go to the dashboard directly. Found redirecting to home. So no. Okay. There's also a login I saw. So if we go to login, it's using the same JavaScript, which was this one. And I guess it just takes a username and password regardless and sends it to the intended one. Site. And so this probably gets called from here. So where is it getting called? Okay. So we have a login, and I don't have a password, but I'll just try admin to log in. Post login. Invalid username or password. Okay. So why don't we create one? See what we get back. And we'll just do test, create an account, test, and account registered successfully. Nope, never. Going to send us to the login page. This is password. Oh, that was just from password recheck. Interesting. That's just from Google extension. Let's log in. And user authenticated successfully, and it set the session as this looks like a jot. So forward that, and we can now get a dashboard. This is a big page, so I'll just send it through, see what we're dealing with. While we do that, let's just check out JWT to decode this token. See what it gets. So we have username is test, invalid signature. And an invalid signature. So, okay. Okay, so we have this dashboard, and we can kind of put some basic information. We can apply to be an editor. We can put a full name, phone, birth date, and gender. We can put a little bit of a description. Then you save. I'm sure. Let's see what happens. It will send so it sends something to API enroll with my session set, full name, and some information. So let's just see what this returns. Your information is saved. So it's an Express server. It just gets displayed there. Okay, we can also upload a file. So I will upload this. Let's see what this is. So API upload. Let's pass that, and it's saying resume file uploaded successfully. Here's the link. So I do that, and we can actually go to the link. So this looks like to be some UUID, or maybe a hash. So potentially there's something possible there. But if we click it, download resume or resume at this link. So if I do that, get it, and we're downloading it. Okay, and we've got some stuff coming through. This is safe browsing, so we don't need to intercept this request. It's probably scanning what I just downloaded, but this link is interesting. I'll click it again. I'm going to send it to the repeater because right off the bat, I want to just take a look to see if I can put anything in here. Passwd, see what this gives me. And 404 not found. Error. No such file or directory. App uploads. Okay. What if I do double backslash? Same thing. So just press it. Okay, so I know that we're in the app folder uploads. Maybe I can go up, traverse up a directory. No, it doesn't let me do that. What if I just maybe go up two directories, or it's probably parsing it out. Maybe if I escape this, if this will do anything. No such file directory, so it's literally grabbed it, but that didn't help. Maybe if I do 4, it's just doing a simple replacement when it finds 2 to remove them. No such file or upload. So this is where we can go to something Hactrix LFI cheat sheet. So just to see, Hactrix is like a resource site with a bunch of common things that we could use to see if we can't bypass maybe something that's been set up on the server. So essentially, should list a whole bunch of different things that maybe we could try out. So blind. So this is using a tool. I'm not going to use a tool because this is a CTF, so I'm sure there's something that we could find without automate enumerating it. You could try the backslash to // so we could try that. // and it just treated it as a literal // so that didn't work. It's not a C, so we know that. Some basic ones. So we've tried this. We can do traversal sequences strip non-recursively. So let's try this one. And that worked. So we have the list of users on this site. So that's cool. I can't really do much with that, but I can't enumerate files, but I do know that there's an app server and probably an index file because I saw Express, so it's probably running Node. And so we do have that. So what I will do is I'll just take this and I'll make a directory app cd into it vim index.js set paste, and I will post it here. And we started looking through this, what we're dealing with. Cookie parser, file upload. We have a database that's being loaded from database.js. Some config variables at app.dev debug.environment. So that's right off the bat is probably interesting. So I'll skip that one. And it just contains a debug password. So I will save that in my notes here. So we got this. We're creating a new database, admin.db. So right in the root, so that's also maybe available. If I go admin.db, request this, and we get a SQL database. So some kind of basic authentication. So this is interesting. I'm going to take this as a curl, copy the curl command, and I'm going to pause on reviewing this for now, and copy this into admin.db, and I don't want the headers, which I think is a -I. So if I do this, let's just take a look at, yeah, we don't have any header information, so I should be able to load this. It's not a database. I think I need SQL3, not SQLite. Okay, what do I need to do? Schema pattern, I want tables, databases. Okay, so that's the database we're working on. List the tables matching. If I try tables, tables, enrollment settings. So select star from users, admin, and admin, I need to know what is the schema users. So we have an ID, a username, and a password. That's probably some kind of crypt hashed one, so that's not much use. But we do have admin. So we do know that there's a user. There's myself and the admin user, so that's interesting. I will exit for now. We'll go back to reviewing, doing a quick code review. It's using nunchucks and some views in the static folder, and it's using router.defaultd. So I'll probably load the router to see what it, here we go, router.index is probably what we want to see what other routes are on this router index.js. And not found routes, whoops, verb, nothing now, I think. I guess they're both nouns. So we'll just grab this and put it into, well, we've got a big file here. So we'll grab this and make here routes, cd routes, and we want to index.js, oops, set paste. So we're importing sign from JWT helper. We're using some middleware, auth middleware, admin middleware, local middleware, and we're executing a child process. So that's kind of interesting. That's probably how we'll get access to the server. So on the index page, we just render the index HTML. There's a register login. Those gets we're familiar with. We've done that. Registered, and that gets passed to database registered user. So maybe we'll check out the database if there's some SQL injection. We can log in. Same thing. So it does sign the token as username admin, or whatever the username is. We have an invalid username or password. We get the dashboard, and it calls auth middleware, and then it basically just sees if it's the admin, and it redirects. So we'll check that out. So we need to somehow log in as admin probably if we want to get redirected to the admin page. Otherwise, it just sends you a dashboard. For posting to enroll, this just takes the user data and enters it. So we'll check that for SQL injection. Upload takes the file and what does it do with it? It uploads the file, remove file, enrollment, gets a resume file dot move. What is resume file? Just files from the request. So this is an express thing, I guess. Move it to this app.uploads. And what is upload file? It just renames whatever it is as an MD5 hash and then calls it docx. So then it links, unlink. I guess if it finds an existing one, it just removes it and then unlink sync enrollment.resume file. If enrollment.resume file and enrollment.resume does not equal upload file, then unlink it. Okay. It's probably just to catch something. And then it just returns the uploaded file. So nothing interesting that I can see there. We have a download, so this is replacing the traversal, the simple regex. So that's how we bypassed it. That's interesting to know. Then we have the admin, which is the admin HTML. And we have the router. We have this SMS settings. I don't know. I don't really want to think about texting right now. But there's a whole other bunch of endpoints. So you can post to it. You can test to this SMS. There's a lot there. And then there's a route SQL prompt. Okay, you need an admin middleware to get access to it. So let's just focus on logging in first. And then there's a debugging and a logout. Okay. So we got to focus on logging in first. Let's check out the helpers. We'll see what this is, and then we'll want to do auth middleware after that. So will work. So we'll just take this, it's not very big. So it just signs it and it just decodes the token. So it doesn't verify as part of decoding, which is interesting. So it's not verifying the signature when it decodes. So we don't need to copy that. Middleware. But that's just a good thing to note. Then we'll take this one. We want the authentication middleware. This isn't a big one either. What's it doing? It's taking the helpers. If there is a session that's undefined, it redirects to root. It says unauthorized. Then it just decodes the cookie section and it just sets the user as the user. So pretty simple. So we could theoretically just replace this with admin now to get access as the admin. So why don't I do that directly here in the browser? And we will go, what's this? This is just getting there. We'll drop that. We'll go to the admin page with our new cookie, see if that works. We don't want to intercept JavaScript requests, do I? There's no content type, so we'll just pass it on. So we're doing our get request to admin. This should be our new session, and that's a different request. That's saying 404, and here is admin, and we get an OK as the admin. So let's see what this renders in our browser. So some site data, and let's click on the menu. That brings it. So this is probably not a mobile friendly dashboard. So if I zoom out, do I get anything? I get some news editors. Oh, this doesn't go anywhere. This doesn't go anywhere. This doesn't go anywhere. So now we basically have these two settings. SQL prompt is interesting. So let's go there. Get SQL prompt. Get SQL prompt, and it's returning a website. It's a bit much to review manually, so we'll just send it to the browser. Debug password, which we know, and it's posting a SQL. So why don't I just grab my debug password. Put it in there, forward that, and see block. This endpoint is whitelisted to localhost only. So that means there's something that we got to review further. So is there a way for me to reinitialize that prompt? There. So I'm going to send this to the repeater because we probably want this just to have a record of it. So it's some kind of SQL query from enrollments, and we'll get the same response. See, back block to endpoint is whitelist localhost only. Okay, and then before we go further, I know that there's an admin middleware and a local middleware. So I'm assuming SQL, where was it? SQL prompt is running admin middleware, but debug SQL exec, which is what we're posting to, is running the local middleware first. So let's grab this one from the server to see what the logic is. I don't need that. So as long as the request IP is local and the header host is this, then we're good. Otherwise, block it. It's pretty simple. we need to be coming from local. Okay, so with that, why don't we check out what this SMS gateway thing is doing. So we'll get the SMS gateway. This is going to return us a view, which is too big, so we'll send it to the browser to render. And here it looks like we can make a request, post or get, do post to some pre-populated platform. It's got some parameters and a header type and a response and status. So if I hit, let's just do send text, SMS, post to this endpoint with these variables. Put API SMS test. So that looks like I probably got to take a look at what that is. API SMS. SMS. Get settings. Post SMS test. This is what we want. So this is accepting verb, URL, parameters, headers from the body of this, and then it's, as long as it's all there. If it's not all there, it's going to return an error. And if it is, it's going to parse the headers, splitting on new lines, and make sure that it includes a colon, and then just, so it looks like it's building some kind of headers. If there's an error, it just swallows it. Next, there's some options, which is the verb that's passed, the URL that is also passed. So that's good to know. And it's a 5-second timeout, passing the headers. So if it's a post, it then adds the data to the parameters. And then it makes a repost, makes a Axios, which is kind of like fetch for us. So so if it's making, so that means this server is making the request. So the originating URL will be localhost. I'm pretty certain. So we could probably query the localhost parameter, and we needed to, I think it needs to be, I go to the repeater, we need to be querying 1337 is where it's running on. So if we look at this SQL all from enrollments, we have our, that's not what I want this one. We'll send this to the repeater because we want to play around with it. And so we want to post, we're going to post to HTTP (127.0.0.1-1337). We want to post the parameters that were in this query. We'll have to escape the double quotes. So we just do that. Password is the debug password. Header type. Let's see what header types we need. So if we go to SQL debug, do we need any special kind of headers? Actually, it would be the authentication, the local middleware doesn't require any headers. So we probably want to at least make sure it's an application JSON, but I don't think we need any authorization. So we can remove that. And I don't know what these are doing, but we'll just leave them empty for now. So if we send this, let's see what we get back. Failed 404, page not found. So what did I gotta actually go? I gotta put in the, what is the endpoint that we want? It is debug SQL exec. So if I put that in, let's see if this works. Status unauthorized message, authentication required. So is my cookie wrong? Oh, I have to set a cookie in this header. So I should do cookie dash session, because this is where it needs the information. So content type application, and then we set the cookie as session to be what it is, and so that way we can also satisfy the auth middleware when this is being run. So let's do that. There we go. So we've outputted some information. Now, lucky for us, I had to, when I was doing SQL earlier, one of the help messages is a shell command. So if we go back into SQLite and we do shell.ls, it's gonna, you can run commands here, cat index.js. So I'm gonna do that in here to see maybe we can't get some stuff. So if I do shell ls, invalid debug password supplied. Oh, where did I removed it, my bad. Overzealous. So shell.ls and output admin.db middleware, so all the stuff that we want. So let's do shell.ls backslash the root, see if there's anything interesting with the root. There's this read flag, and so let's do cat read flag. And it's ELF, so it's an executable, so you can't really see anything here. So let's just call read flag and see what it returns. Maybe I gotta do this. And here we go. We got access to the server and we're able to read the flag. So that's Magic Informer solved.